What is the number one and probably most efficient way you can grow your channel and explode all over internet as quickly as possible? It's not posting more, it is not better thumbnails, although they help. It is something I have seen very few people do, and the ones they do almost always have incredible results from it. And that is introducing leverage and buying traffic into your growth efforts. Let me explain. In my opinion, this is one of the biggest cheat codes in all of online marketing, but almost nobody does it because they do not have the vision to execute it properly. I'll attempt to show you how to do it in this rather short, I hope, YouTube video. Almost everyone I have seen is either trying to grow from purely organic methods where they want the algorithm to pick up the content and like the content, and that could take years. Or they are using paid traffic for their lead generation, for their prospecting, but they do not have any organic content strategy. Maybe they can have some blogs for Google traffic, but they're not really building a brand or producing content at any meaningful prospecting way, where they do not generate prospects from their content. So what happens is, right, if you introduce one or the above, you just break the whole goddamn system, right? If you're spending a lot on ads for your lead gen, and if you start recording a lot of content that's value giving, good content, you have a good team behind you, what happens is all this traffic you spend money on, right, also sees your content and you grow, right? And most people who need more time, right, gets into your buying cycle because of your content, right? You stop growingly inefficient direct response process. And if you're already creating content, but you're praying to the algorithm gods every day to pick your content up, right? If you build a good traffic, a paid traffic funnel, or you don't even need to you don't even need a funnel. If you're just using any amount of paid traffic, you will just short circuit the process. And if your content is valuable, the views will be super cheap because it will be shared, it will be liked. The platforms will like the content. The hardest content to advertise on platforms is actually revenue generating content, right? Because the CPMs are high, you'll pay a lot. Usually the viewer doesn't really want to see it because they're being sold something. But if you're just putting out value generating content as ads, you will not believe how cheap the traffic is, right? And this is actually a very old school ad strategy called capture recapture, where you show people a very valuable and interesting piece of content to build a list. It's called a hidden list. It's a Frank Kern method, right? It's old school, cool internet marketing, right? You build it's hidden list, and you just do retargeting on this list, and it will be so much cheaper than direct targeting, direct response ads. Because and at the same time, you're building your brand, you're building your following without being a slave to the algorithm. And if you have a business, if you're broke, if you have a marketing budget and you're not doing this, I feel there is something wrong with you, or you didn't know this as of right now, and now you do, so now you have no excuse. But this is an incredible hack. And someone I've worked with actually bought ads on the Ben Shapiro show, right? The Ben Shapiro podcast. And he saw tremendous outcomes from just a couple ad reads Ben Shapiro did for this person's own YouTube channel. And because he, there was persona alignment on those, and he just short circuited the whole process, right? So let me break down how you can do this optimal way. Before you can buy traffic effectively, you need three things. You need to know your persona. You need at least one cornerstone video, right, where you are proud and everyone who will watch it will be impressed. And you want a decent backlog. Nothing in this backlog needs to be that legendary or that awesome, but when people watch it, it needs to be a 7 out of 10, or let's say at verse 6, right? Nobody should hate themselves for watching the video or gain zero value out of it. So on the know your persona part, you need to know what your persona cares about, and persona means ideal viewer / prospect, what's interesting to them, what's valuable to them, and what would really impact them, entertain, inform, or educate them in a significant way. And you need to have a good idea on these things. You kind of need to know who you are talking to. You need, again, one anchor piece, where usually people do a lot of ultimate guys or A to Z guys as an anchor piece, and I kind of like that strategy. But you kind of one just value explosion video that anyone who views that will be okay, this is the guy, he knows what he's talking about. I gain massive value from this content, and that will be your anchor piece, and you probably buy traffic to that piece. And you need a decent backlog. Usually 9 to 12 videos is good enough to start, but you want them to be at least 6 out of 10. They don't need to be great, just decent is fine, but you cannot have trash. Nothing can be trash. So here's the key. These backlog videos should be tentacles from your cornerstone content, right? And again, I can explain this concept in like extreme detail, and when we do content strategy for clients, we kind of execute these concepts ourselves. But let me give you an example, right? Let's say your cornerstone video is how to speak English very fluently in 6 months, right? And this is like a very A to Z detailed video, probably like fairly long. But on this video, you're probably like going over certain things, right? Like vocabulary, grammar, like speaking practice, etc. But probably you're not like going in depth every concept like for a significantly long time. That depends on your niche and the channel, what like that long time means. But yeah, so using more like B2B, you can like get away with longer videos and more like less attention span. People in like less attention span niches should have like shorter video lengths, but this is very like industry and client dependent. So like long and short length will have to be suffice right now. But your tactical videos from that learn how to speak English fluently in 6 months video could be why you must memorize specifically these words for speaking fluency, and that could be a video about frequency dictionaries, right? Best grammar topics for extremely fast speaking fluency, and that could be about more conversational English and how you can structure like what to practice, so like you have proper fluency on those topics very quickly, and like a certain fluency order in certain topics will get you to fluency very quickly. I actually know a lot about this concept, right? So but that could be more like topic selection and speaking practice, right? And your third video could be why you must never learn these grammar topics in your first 2 years in your speaking like language journey. And that could be about high complexity, low leverage topics. For example, in English, it could be like, let's say present perfect tense, like let's say past perfect continuous in like passive voice form. And like just like some random tense where it's very complicated, like learning it is very complicated, and like you will have almost zero value out of it in either like daily life or speaking, right? So, and again, I could go like super in depth into this, etc. But again, these are all tentacles, right? From your like main A to Z content. And on the A to Z content, you can have a point about like why you should prioritize certain grammar topics over others, and you can give like a few examples on like, hey, you should like learn these grammar topics, and in this like tactical video you can go more in depth, and you can like serialize this content and make it pretty much infinite. But you can talk about like annoying grammar topics you shouldn't learn, you can talk about like grammar topics you should learn and why, and like all of this could be like an 8 to 10 minute video, and you would have like infinite content forever, blah blah blah. Okay, so this all of these topics align with your cornerstone content, and someone might not be interested in them initially, and this is key, right? But after watching your cornerstone content, they will be because like you will see the tentacles of the content. And this is why this is so cool. This is like a great content strategy. After they watch your cornerstone video, they have seen the value, they have gained trust, and they are hooked, and all of these like tentacles will like get your roots into that prospect. Also, this can all like go both ways. If one of your tentacle videos have mass appeal, it will also lead to either other tentacle videos or like a lot more likely the big video, right? Like the big cornerstone video. And that is so key. Your channel must have evergreen cornerstone, just like incredible anchor piece videos for all of this to work. And if that is the case, you can get like as niche as you want, because everything will be connected like a silo, right? That's like all the SEO term. And now let me teach you how buying traffic works. And again, like you can have like different contexts with like different businesses, but here's like a brief overview of like an individual example. Once you have this foundation, you buy traffic to your cornerstone content. Assuming again, you're not like buying traffic, right? Like in this example, we are introducing buying traffic to your content, right? But you buy traffic to your cornerstone content. You can also clip it, cross-populate it, post it on different platforms. You can have like an omnipresence through your advertising. But that cornerstone video, right, like that like baby you have, that's where you drive your paid traffic. You can decide to make like more short, like engaging parts of the cornerstone video, or like a more like low attention span cornerstone video, depending on your niche and like potential client base. But I'm kind of like thinking more B2B, and people will be like interested like to sit down and watch. But yeah, like your cornerstone video doesn't have to be like this 1 hour masterpiece, right? But you buy traffic to your cornerstone video, you will sure your persona will gain immense value and trust out of. What happens next is magical, okay? So your numbers go up, your engagement goes up, all of your other video views will grow, just like buying traffic to that one video, and your subscribers grow. And also you will see these random prospects popping up from your like pipeline. You're like, where are these people coming? Like, I'm not like buying traffic to this like lead funnel, or like maybe you are, but it's like a separate page, right? So, and you're like, where are they coming from? And like you ask, you're like, oh, like from YouTube. Like I saw your videos, I want to check this out. And you're like, oh. And this will be cheap because the video itself will have so much value. People will watch, you will retain people will engage and click into your other content. And here's the leverage play. All of this works better when you introduce leverage. If you can make this pay for itself and more, game over, okay? Here's an example. It's pretty like common knowledge that I used to run like a big language learning company, a language school of sorts, like infographics, a language school of sorts with info products and like online coaching and packages, etc. So we had cornerstone content, but it was also selling digital products and webinars. We would advertise the cornerstone content and boom, Like webinar registration went up, like this was like evergreen webinars, like webinar sales went up, attendance jumped through the roof, like people would get like so much buy-in and investment before like the point of sale that like all of the sales numbers shoot up. You are creating a high leverage environment with your content to do business in. If you buy traffic to your webinar, all of your video views go up because everything is connected, right? Everything is connected. You probably have multiple touch points. People will like start to get recommended your videos because like the algorithms know they are in your like sales funnel. They're like engaged in your webinar, right? And like you drive traffic to your webinar, your views go up. You drive traffic to your views, your webinar goes up, and it becomes this like synergistic, like infinite loop of leverage. And it's incredible. Like it's incredible. And the people who don't do this, I feel Alex Hormozy actually had like a great point, right? He was doing a lot of like paid traffic into his content and his numbers went down dramatically. And like they had this like big marketing meeting, right? And they asked like what changed? And the only thing that changed is like they stopped posting content at the volume that they were posting, and it affected all of their paid traffic numbers. This is critical, guys. Listen up. Without leverage, all of this is still valuable, right? But with leverage, it is just like a cheat code for your business for like infinite revenue potential. You are literally getting paid to grow your brand, your customers, your clients, your prospects. Like you're getting paid to grow bigger. It's stupid. It is massive. I feel this is the biggest cheat code in online marketing, and like anyone who has figured this out, it is just like beating the game. And I feel like any effort that goes outside of figuring out this synergistic high leverage environment is most likely a waste of time if you have your fundamentals down. That's my opinion. But very few people do it because most people don't have the vision to execute this top to bottom, right? Most people are either like experts in like paid advertising, or most people are experts in content. It is kind of rare to have like someone who has a lot of experience in both, but you kind of need to have like a top executive who can like manage both teams and create synergy, and that's usually super rare. So this is like a very rare thing. Usually like the CEO or like at least like CEO to CMO level have to be like really on top of it and like very skilled themselves for this to work. And most people who can make this work are kind of like Hormozy or Frank Kern level marketers, where like they can kind of like just manage that whole ecosystem, right? And because like again, like most people do not have the vision and know-how to create this synergy. But this is what the biggest companies and the people who actually crush it do. They find their audience, they figure out where their persona hangs out. This is like which platform, which niches, which type of content, and they buy awareness in that slot. I am a big UFC fan. I know I have watched many movies because they bought ads in the UFC where I had no idea they were coming out. I was watching the card and I saw the movie being promoted. I was like, oh, cool, because like they understand that like crazy action movie is kind of like have persona alignment with UFC viewers. And like, let me tell you, those marketers are not stupid. You're placing yourself in front of millions of people that are actually most of them are like your buyers when you buy that ad slot. And you can do this online too. I can like get into this like a lot more, but like let me give you some initial examples. First of all, you can do sponsorships where like another channel would kind of shout you out. This is very common in like Instagram, YouTube, etc. Works very well as long as you advertise into like a cornerstone content. Very important. So, okay. To summarize, the key is having persona understanding, right? A good cornerstone content that you're very confident in and a decent backlog so people could actually stick around. And interest alignment where you're buying traffic, whether it's like a sponsorship, cross-post, whether you're like actually using the platforms to advertise on a single piece of content, whatever type of like paid traffic angle like you're pursuing, as long as you have all three things in alignment, you will have incredible results. Of course, the better everything is, the better everything works, right? If your ads are great, fantastic. If your cornerstone content is amazing, great. If your backlog is like a 9 out of 10 instead of a 6, fantastic. But this is the bare bones you need to like execute the strategy successfully. But things don't have to be perfect is my point. And I feel like this is the fastest way to grow if you have the vision and the resources to execute it. We have done this to multiple people, and I feel like most people, it's not even in their paradigm or awareness that this is possible and this could be executable. So I really want to record this video. And again, you don't need to use us to like execute this, but I hope you gained immense value from this video. And that's it from me for today. This is Ozzy from BDM signing off. See you in the next video.